bad boys, daredevils, speed demons, renegades of the road. You've all heard the stories, laughed at the jokes. Now you're going to hear the real story about today's modern biker, right from the horse's mouth.
What are you looking at?
Well, I guess you really can't tell who the bikers are these days.
I look like this every day.
I can't believe you said that. Welcome to Bikers Unchopped.
Back in the 1960s, bikers gained a reputation for being outlaws, misfits, and generally were not a nice bunch of people. While some of that reputation may have been true at the time, most of the bad boy image really came by the way of the Hollywood movies. These movies really played up the wild angel behavior, which back then appealed to the average moviegoer. The bad boy biker persona really started way back on July 4th, 1947, when a little town named Hollister was made famous in Life magazine. The entire biker image was captured in time by one photograph, which showed a rowdy biker sitting atop his motorcycle surrounded by dozens of empty beer bottles. And Hollywood really began embellishing upon that image with the movies like The Wild One and Wild Angels. Little did anyone realize at the time the notorious picture was staged. So what is it that draws many of us to the road? The reasoning behind we are so willing to risk our lives on a daily basis. Let's ask around a bit, because you just really can't tell who the real bikers are these days.
I'm a biker. I'm a biker.
I'm a biker.
I'm a biker. I'm a biker too.
We're bikers.
I'm a biker.
We're all bikers!
You know, in the last 15 years, it was cool to ride. It was a thing to have, and a lot of new people were getting into motorcycles that 20 years ago was dead set against them. And then all of a sudden, it became cool. It was fashionable to have one. A lot of new people bought them that had no riding experience. But now with gas the way it is, and you can get on something that gets 40 to 50 miles to the gallon, and it's fun to ride, and you relax when you get done. More people are using them now for transportation rather than just recreation. Along with the increase of motorcycles, there has been an increase of vehicles on the highway also. And the trend through the years has been the big SUVs. So they sit up higher, they're bigger, have more blind spots. So you have to be a lot more aware now when you're riding. Not only are the highways a lot more crowded, but the vehicles you're going by or going by you have a lot more blind spots. So they don't see the motorcycle. So you have to, I've always said you have to have two sets of eyes. The set you're riding with and the set for everybody else who's around you. You have to watch what they're doing, to try to watch for the guy who doesn't see you in a blind spot and cuts you off. I think the big thing is just make people aware of motorcycles out there and to look for them. Don't look for the big SUV a quarter mile down the road. The motorcycle may be 100 feet down the road, and when you pull out, there he is. So don't look for two sets of headlights down the highway somewhere. Look for anything on the highway.
If you could say one thing to an automobile driver that would help to promote safety, what would that be?
Put down your cell phone.
Back off the bikes.
Use your turn signals.
Look before you pull out.
Take a second look.
Hidden behind that car might be a bike.
But don't just take their word for it. Let's head to where the real bikers hang out to hear what today's road warrior has to say. Brace yourself for some pretty explicit language. Some fear him. Some loathe him. But they all call him by one name. Leader of the pack. He knows no boundaries, makes his own rules, and when all is said and done, he attacks the road. With a vengeance like no other. Roaring down the highway, leaving rubble and mayhem in his wake. Today's rebel is a true junkyard dog. Street fighter, whether at home in his decadent jungle or out on the open road. But don't let this warlord's mild manner fool you. His cunning and prowess are second to none, and he can strike like a cobra when pushed to the limit. No one dares to stand in his way or challenge his authority of the road. They simply let him pass and bow their heads in homage. There's nothing like the feeling you get from throwing your leg over a thunderous two-wheeled machine, screaming down the open highway at explosive speeds, knowing only that all eyes are gazing upon you with longing and envy. He dismounts his mighty machine and prepares to be welcomed with open arms. For you see, you're in his world now.
Hi, I'm looking for motor oil.
What kind of bike do you have?
It's a Honda Elite 80.
Street glove.
Hey, guys, you taught both of them.
You gotta see what's in the parking lot, man.
What?
You won't believe it. All right, come here.
All right, okay.
Check this out.
I can't believe that. Use a lot of bubbles on the whole thing.
I think the stickers are holding it together.
I wanted to have stickers here.
I think you should get some for your bike. I think your bike would look good like
Hey! Who has the rolling suitcase out here?
That's mine.
Uh-oh, here we go. That's yours, all right. Man, look at you. Are you trying to ride or what?
This is my style.
Come here. How long you been riding?
A week.
Yeah, a week. That'd be about it, man. A week.
Think you'll make two?
Let me tell you something, man. Looking like you do, driving that, you ain't gonna get it very much, I'll tell you.
Nice boots. Nice beach style.
Look at that, man. I'm serious. They hit a hot pipe with them, and he's a done for, man. These are my buddies. Hey, how you doing? Stuart. Stuart. It's Dan.
Levi.
Like the jeans? Oh, man, he's got a lot going for him, doesn't he? We're going to teach you about riding.
He's dressed for watercraft.
I'm serious. Doesn't he look like he's going to the beach?
Yep.
I'm serious. That's my next get-up. Right there. I'm going for that.
That should be your style.
Thank you.
That should be your style.
I really
That would look good on you.
Sit down, Carmen. Take a load off.
You wouldn't be
Better than them
so...
chaps, don't you think?
Hey, Carmen, why don't you shed the coat? It's hot in
Man,
here.
I'm telling you.
Did you need
Which
it?
reminds me, you see this? You see what I'm wearing? You think I like wearing this right now? It's like 90 degrees outside, man. You know why I wear it?
Style.
Protection.
Style.
Protection, man.
Carmen doesn't have style. Carmen doesn't have style either.
Thank you very much. See how I get? You see how it is when you get to be comrades, you know?
Stand up, Carmen.
Stand up a minute.
Why?
Stand up.
Here it comes.
Turn around.
Whoa, check those buns.
There's no style back there.
Thank you very much. You see how it is? Look at what I'm wearing, man. Most people think that what we wear is because it's cool or it looks really hip or something like that. All of this has been about protection. You know, when you're down the road, I mean, as you're driving along, things run into you. Yeah, who's been hit by one of them beetles that feels like a rock hitting your hand or hitting your head?
Man, I almost knock you off the bike.
I'm serious. It really stings as you're going along. And, you know, look at your shoes, man, or if you want to call them shoes. When you have pipes that are hot, well, if your foot actually hit one of those pipes, you can burn your foot off. So that's why we all wear boots and chaps and things like that.
Yeah, you don't plan on crashing, but you hope it doesn't happen. But if you do, you want to make sure you got the clothes on to help protect you.
And one time you stop your bike and you step in that little hole that you didn't see when you stopped.
Yeah.
You'll know why you don't want to wear flip-flops.
And so you still have style. You can still incorporate your own style. Yeah. Wouldn't quite be that style.
There's some things that you ought to know about that because you're on two wheels, it's a lot different than being in a car. You drive a car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, first off, you're smaller. Cars are very visible, you know? Even the smallest car is bigger than a motorcycle. Even the smallest car.
And they don't see. You think you're in their side view mirror, but you're not.
Did you know that when you ride behind a truck, too, if you can't see their mirrors, they can't see you.
Yeah, if you can't see their eyes in their mirrors, if you look in the mirror and you see the side of their head, they can't see you.
And because you're so small, even if you're riding a big dresser like these guys here ride, it's still small compared to another car. It's light.
Well, the problem you have is if you're in the blind spot for the truck, you might also be in the blind spot for someone else who's looking at the truck. I mean, you're in a position where the truck is not only not seeing you, but blocking you from the view of another motorist that may be coming across the road. So the truck goes by, now they want to come across the road, and you're
off to the side of it.
You're in a position that's almost directly in front of them because they can't see you because of the truck. I've had that experience on a couple
of times. The other thing to be concerned about is, depending on what part of the lane you're in, with an oncoming truck, he can push you right out of your lane.
Yeah, that swirl, when that thing hits you, it'll move you around.
Push you right off the lane.
And see, these are the kinds of things that most people in cars don't even realize. One of the most dangerous scenarios for us on motorcycles are cars with cell phone drivers. Why? They're concentrating on talking, trying to concentrate on driving, and they're used to looking at cars on the road. People don't recognize motorcycles right away, or if they do, it doesn't register right away.
I was going to ask him, he's been going for a week. Has he had any close calls?
Yeah,
Good question.
I got cut off. Yeah.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it is scary.
And what did you do when you got cut off?
Showed him your style.
My style would be long gone by then, I'm telling you what.
You better find a pair of brakes.
I live down in Sussex County, and we have a place down there called Us.mov, which is a very cool place to ride in. If you ever get down to Sussex County, it's a blast. And it's covered like trees, and it's like going through a tunnel, which is like really cool type riding. You know what I mean? Everybody, when a motorcyclist enjoys this, they lean, they go through, and it's a real fun kind of ride. Well, there are a lot of blind turns that come on that ride. You know what a blind turn is? That means a turn that you can't see all the way through the turn that you're going around. So it's kind of hidden out from you. I was riding along in one lane, right in my lane, leaning into a turn, and as I go halfway through the turn, here's a car in my lane that has crossed over a yellow line.
Cutting the corner.
And I'm like, there's not a lot that you can do. It's like, one thing most people don't realize is the way motorcycles turn. Motorcycles turn by leaning. You don't turn this way. You lean down one way or another, right? You've seen that. Well, I'm leaning into a turn. This car's coming straight for me, and I can't just sit down there and turn and get out of the way. I got to make the bike upright first before I can even get out of the way. And all this is a split second. You don't have time to think. Anybody who's coming across that double yellow line or that solid line into your lane, it doesn't matter who's right or wrong at that point. It's like, I'm just valuing my life to get out of the way. That's an important type thing. Anybody ever ridden on loose gravel?
Not only have I ridden on loose gravel, I even laid my bike down on loose gravel.
Have you really? In a car, you ever ridden on loose gravel? Any big deal? Nah, pretty easy. Try it on two wheels, and all of a sudden the hair stands straight up on the back of your neck. Most people in cars don't even think about that. Ever ridden over a grate in a bridge or on one of those plates?
Yeah, that's...
What does it feel like?
Like you're on a snake.
That's right.
Just like you're on a snake going through that.
Do you understand why?
You have no control over it because your front wheels have grooves in them, and the grooves get caught in the bridge grooves. You're just wobbling just back and forth.
Do you have any idea what to do when that happens?
No.
But when you see the grate coming, if you can move to one side of the road or the other and cut across the grate to the other side of the bridge, you'll stay straight. But as long as you try to cross it straight on, you're going to wobble.
Yeah, and if you hit that one where you've got to hit straight like that, just realize you'll get that wobble. And it's not that big a deal. Just let the bike move around a little bit. There's nothing you can do.
Don't panic.
Don't panic and lock up on it. You need to keep things loose and just let it keep your steady speed and go right across.
Look where you want to go.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And that's where you will go.
What do you think that people need to know about this?
I guess my question is like, okay, I'm in my car and I have, a motorcycle around me either in the other lane or in front of me or behind me. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to be cautious and I guess be considerate to them? What am I supposed to do?
Well, I can tell you one thing is that I wouldn't follow too close to a bike. That's a dangerous kind of scenario. You got to remember, if an animal runs out in front of a bike, a fairly big animal, I've had deer run out in front of me on a motorcycle. If you hit a deer with a car, you're pretty much going to kill that deer. You hit a deer with a motorcycle, and that bike is going down 9 times out of 10. So anybody that's following a motorcycle, I suggest to back off a little bit.
Yeah, give them space.
Yeah, give it some space.
Maybe one of the things you got to remember as a car driver, when you see a bike, if you're looking out your side view or rear view mirror and you see a bike, there's probably another bike somewhere in that picture. Most of your bikers ride in groups. It's the one you don't see that you pull out in front of, or you maneuver from
change
one
lanes
lane,
on them or something.
change lane on them, and push them right off the road.
There's a really bad scenario that's happening right now, and I think it's because we're all in a rush to get places. I was coming down Route 1, heading towards my house. Okay, and I'm driving along, and there's a car in front of me, all right, which is no big deal, and he's about 15, 20 yards in front of me, because I like to keep some space cushion in there as I'm driving. Well, there is a section down on Route 1, there's a flashing light there, and it lends itself to having a right-hand turn, all right, to go there. No big deal, they're going to make a right. It's a separate lane that they come off the highway with, all right? Well, a car was waiting at the intersection, all right, to come across Route 1 and go up north. They saw the car making the right-hand turn to get in the right-hand lane to actually go make their right-hand turn. They did not see me behind the car. So they came out into Route 1 that car goes off into the right hand
And you're
lane,
right there.
and I'm right there, baby, right there in front of me. There's a car coming right in front of me because I wasn't visible enough for him. Visibility is the best weapon for any biker, to make sure that people can see you, because what happens is people may be able to see it, but they still don't recognize what it is. You ride a sport bike. When you're going down the road, you're lower. You're not upright.
Sure.
You're lower. You got to remember, there's not this big vehicle in the lane anymore. You got a skinny bike, somebody hunkering down kind of low. That makes for a small window that you can see that.
Yeah, sometimes they can't judge how far away you actually are, and then you throw in the speed, you mix that in with it too, it makes it even worse.
All right, let's say I'm the car driver. You know, I'm in the car and I'm trying to merge onto like a freeway, and I've got either a motorcycle, I've got a motorcycle behind me or in front of me. What, as a car driver, what are the kind of things that I need to keep in mind?
Give us space. Right? Just give us space.
Just give us space.
I guess the same goes for if, like, I'm on the highway and I see a motorcycle trying to merge. I'm just gonna. I mean, I guess that's the same with any car driving.
Back off a little bit. Give us a little room, because we're not trying to take your lane or whatever. We're just trying to make a safe maneuver and travel. Then when you got room, and if we're too slow for you, you can go right around us.
Yeah, those expressways, though, they are very dangerous. You really got to be careful, because you got so many people. The old DC Beltway, I used to call it. They're all the lanes are full, and everybody's moving 70 miles an hour, and and the car drivers too are just trying to see what's going on, and the motorcycle just barely shows up on the radar, if at all, and you really got to watch your lane. I mean, always keep moving. Don't fixate on one thing. Just keep your eyes going all around.
As long as you got your signal on to tell us what you want to do, we'll give you the right of way.
Yeah. I guess that brings up another question. As a car driver, how am I supposed to handle, if I've got a big group of motorcycles coming, what is something I need to keep in mind?
They like to stay together as a group. Mm. Sometimes you get a car driver try to get right in the middle of them, and that can be a strange situation.
And there's really no reason for you to be in the middle unless you're trying to make a turn. Yeah. And if you're trying to make a turn, put on your signal. We'll give you the right of way so you can.
In most cases, you back off and let them come through.
Let them
come through, right. You want to go for a ride? Yeah. Everybody wants to go for a ride.
Have you taken a safety class?
Well, that was the question I was going to ask. Take one.
The Delaware Department of Transportation, they offer an excellent safety course. Excellent.
That 3-day class, you'll learn more in those 3 days than you would learn 3 years out on your own. Or sitting around here talking to us, for that matter.
What do you think? You want to go for a ride?
Let's go.
When automobile drivers and bikers understand and respect each other's needs, they can all share the road side by side safely and with confidence. Help make Delaware a safer place to drive. Remember, it's not how many wheels you drive, it's how you drive the wheels you have.